Hello, Mahmoud, and thank you, first of all, to accept my invitation for this special episode of Swift Academy podcast. Usually we speak about iOS development, Apple platforms, but today we'll speak about open source software, things related to Spring and your great role in VMware as a lead developer of the Spring batch. Really amazing. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you, Walid. It's a pleasure to be on your show. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. And today we'll speak about a lot of things related to open source software and the work at Spring, at VMware, how you manage your projects, etc. A lot of section in our discussion in this episode of Swift Academy podcast. That's why we'll speak first of all about your personal journey, your career, and let's start with your journey. How do you do you describe it, your different positions, key position until now as a software engineering?
Sure. So I got my engineering degree back in 2008. I finished my studies with an internship in a research
Ah,
lab called INRIA here in France. So the internship went well. So they offered me an engineering position, which I accepted. I remember at the time we worked on a platform to run service-oriented architectures, which we call today microservices. Maybe it's all the
okay.
same thing. Yeah, everything all is new again. um, and then I moved to the industrial field. I worked for about a decade as a consultant for different companies and businesses, like retail, telecommunication, transportation, and so on. And I had different roles, from back-end developer to front-end developer, Scrum Master, project manager,
Okay.
everything. So I tried almost everything.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I learned a ton from these experiences. And after that, I focused on open source software. So I tried to join a team that works mainly on open source. And 7 years ago, I think I had the opportunity to join the Spring team at Pivotal back then, which was acquired by VMware, which in turn
Okay.
was acquired by Broadcom recently.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is where I am today.
Oh, great, great. And I think that I need that to speak more about how you join VMware because I think that it's not an easy things to join VMware.
Yeah, in fact, it's a long story, but I will try to make it short. It's a funny story actually. So
Okay.
I in my spare time throughout the years, I developed a number of open source projects. Some of them were successful, some of them really not, so I archived them. But one of them called Easy Batch, which is a batch processing framework for Java,
Okay.
was designed as a lightweight alternative to a Spring project called Spring Batch.
Okay.
And Easy Batch was quite successful. People from the community were using it. Some companies like Splunk was
Mm.
using it in production. So it
Yes.
got the attention of the Spring Batch team. And I will tell you how I knew about that. So at some point, there was an open position in the Spring Batch team, and they were looking for someone with knowledge about batch processing and someone who is familiar with Spring Batch or Easy Batch. And I was
Okay.
surprised to see my project in the job description. So, and
Mm.
for a minute, I was proud, to be honest.
Okay.
And then I thought to myself, okay, let's try to apply and see how it goes. So I updated my resume, applied for the position, and a couple of days later, so I got an email from the project lead saying, "Yeah, we are interested in your profile. Are you open to discuss?" And I said yes. Of course, I was happy and stressed at the same time.
Yes.
And
I
yeah, the
understand.
hiring. Sorry.
I understand.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot
It
of.
was a bit stressful, but yeah, exciting. So yeah, the hiring process went quite well, and I eventually joined the Spring team at VMware.
Mm.
That's how it went.
Yes, I think that um, you deserve that because
Thank you.
working and preparing easy batch, etc. is not an easy job. And
Yeah.
when you find that in the description of the job, need a person that have knowledge about Spring Easy Batch and also Spring Batch. Okay, I think that you are the favorite one to be accepted. And, it's a,
Yeah.
and you deserve it. Great, great. I'm very am proud that Tunisian developer software engineering that come from the public university, etc. Because we come
Thank you.
from has its responsibility. It's a pleasure for me.
Thank you very
Uh,
much. Yeah.
okay. And let's come to if you're looking back to your career, what's the biggest project or that impact or shaping your technical knowledge, your technical styles? What kind of projects? I know that we'll speak about maybe Easy Batch, Spring Batch, etc., but maybe there is other things.
Yeah, it's not really a project, I think, but more like a role, the open source developer role. So, I will explain why. Because, when we work on closed source projects, what I have seen in many companies that once the code does what it's supposed to do, we stop there. And in my experience, people don't look at the quality of the code, of the craft
Okay.
of software engineering in general. So, it compiles, okay, ship it. So,
Mm,
and it stops there. In the open source world, it's a completely different story. So, you know that people will be looking at your code. So we tend
mm,
to try to like refine things and apply the best practices before publishing something to the public. And yeah, so you have to be humble when you publish something open source. You know that you have to accept that people may be smarter than you. We look at the code, we'll
mm,
criticize, we'll give you feedback. So you have to be open to this kind of feedback. You have to be willing to fix things, to admit mistakes and so on. And since I was developing a lot of open source frameworks and libraries, as I said, that was like the thing that had the biggest impact on my career, let's say like that. Um, I definitely learned more from open
mm.
source project than closed source ones. Yeah,
Yes, and really amazing thing, and also difficult because you will be, as you said, judged by people that maybe are much more smarter than you, and there is a lot of discussion with many of developers, not only your team, because
exactly. It's
the team
international.
is
Yeah,
yes, it's international from different countries, etc., and they have their idea about coding things. And maybe they have a lot of knowledge about the topics that you developed, and really, really, it's difficult. It's not an easy one, especially if there is other people that the developer things similar to your projects and coming with the
exactly.
new things that you need to make benchmark compare same to compare with your solution and the other solutions, and people say yes, it's not an easy job. And let's come for your first open source project. Maybe you need to speak about. I think that it's come to 20 years ago, your first project. But if you can speak about
Yeah,
that,
I think my first contribution was not really a project, but I tried to contribute to an existing one. So I remember very well that first contribution. It was a small feature for a library called Pretty Time. Pretty
okay.
Time is a small Java library that allows you to format a given date, like to a string like 2 minutes ago or 2 hours ago. We see all these time formatted strings everywhere in chats and so on. And I remember the contribution was like a custom HTML tag that you can put on a web page, and it will show you the time formatted with that library. So it's a small one, but it was very welcome from the project lead, and I was happy that my first contribution was accepted. So it's always better than starting with a rejection, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, that was my very first contribution. I think it goes back to 2012, something like that. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
And after that, of course, I started creating or publishing my own libraries and frameworks. So some of them, as I said, are quite successful. Some of them
Mm.
really not. So I throw away a lot of code, to be honest. So I try things. What works is kept and polished, and what is not working or succeeding. So I just archive the thing and I move on. So this is how we learn and we improve.
Mm.
And then I started contributing to Spring when I joined the Spring batch team. I remember my first contribution there was a bug fix in the build process. I was um, checking out the source code, trying a build on a fresh machine, and the build failed. It was not expected, and apparently there was like a test assuming that the current locale of the user is US based. But since I was
Okay.
in Europe, the test failed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nasty issue. But still, I fixed it, and that was my first contribution to Spring. So it was 2018
Mm.
when I first joined the Spring team. And yeah, after that, I still continue to contribute to Spring Batch and other projects from the Spring portfolio. I'm also leading the Spring Shell project, which is
Mm.
a framework for development for developing command line interface
Mm.
applications. I try to contribute to Spring Framework as well, Spring Boot when we need integration with Spring Batch or something like that. Yeah, so
I didn't
it's a
know
quite
about
wide.
your. I
Mhm.
didn't know about your contribution to Spring Chat. I didn't think we
Yeah,
knew
yeah, yeah,
about that. It's I think great thing. And
yeah. It's recent. So starting this year,
ah,
2025.
okay, okay, okay.
I took the lead on Spring Shell as well.
Mm.
For those who don't know me, I'm a command line guy. So Spring Shell is a lovely project, and I'm happy to lead it as well. So yeah, that's something I work on as well.
Okay, that great. That come to speak now much more about Spring, your adventure with the team of Spring, and especially now. Your mission, can you describe a little bit your mission in as leading principal software engineering? I know that a lot of contribution in code, especially in the Spring batch. I think the number one in the project. People that we will share in the description all the links to the Spring project, and you will find the contribution of Mahmoud in this great project. And what is especially where your mission, especially in the world dominated by things like now the role of Spring Batch. We have, as you said in the beginning, microservices, things like that. Um, can you uh, still think that Spring Batch uh, still exists? People need to have a Spring Batch. Uh, how you can convince people that okay, there is something much better than Spring
Yeah, yeah,
Batch.
yeah. I see. I think this is a quite common concern, and people think that in the world of microservices, streaming, and so on, I think that many people they think that batch processing is dead. And I think that's not true. Every production grade application has in some capacity some requirements to do batch processing, like data ingestion, report generation. In the AI world now, all the
Mm,
AI training and RAG pipelines and so on are all batch processes. It's not streaming or microservices. It's processing data in batch mode. So yeah, batch processing is still here. It's not dead. And Spring Batch still has its place in the landscape. I think the mission of Spring Batch today is to continue leading the batch processing landscape on the JVM. It's definitely leading it. The mission is to continue that. So in a world of growing data sets in volume and so on, Spring Batch is aiming at being more resilient, scalable. We try to improve the performance of the framework. So yeah, that's the main goal today, and try to be up to date with the current state of things.
You convinced me about about Spring. I didn't have any knowledge about the solution, but batching, etc., processing, automation. I think it's they need a lot of knowledge about, as you said, about scripting, etc. Also with knowledge about the Java language, and really there is usually a contribution. I know that you passed now from maybe the version 5 to the version 6 with a lot of updates, etc. And I think it's a lot of work that you did now with Spring Batch. Okay, let's come to we come to more much deeper in your code, your patterns, your architecture when you develop Spring Batch. When you're preparing this episode, you speak about what we call the Spring Batch jobs today, compared to something like Kubernetes jobs or Cloud Native batch jobs. Um, uh, uh, if there is a new pattern that you integrate now in Spring Batch, and you try to actively recommending using Spring Batch jobs, why?
Yeah, just before answering your question, I think I would just give a bit more context. What I see in production applications today in big corporations is that they are still on like legacy platforms and languages, and I think one of the most typical project types is modernizing the batch infrastructure from something legacy to a modern architecture, something like this. So I will come to the patterns and so on.
Okay.
But I think to answer your question about what do I recommend, is I recommend these people to move off these legacy platforms and languages like mainframe and COBOL and stuff.
Okay.
Basically for two reasons. One is costs, obviously. So running a batch infrastructure on the mainframe costs a ton of money from the numbers I see. And the second reason is, of course, the skill set. So COBOL developers are rare now. They are like um, very expensive because it's not very common now
To have, yes.
language or skill to learn about. It's like they are like endangered species. But yeah, so basically you have it's expensive in terms of infrastructure and also in terms of workforces. So I recommend moving to the cloud native movement. So this is a modern architecture style, and it's easier to think about, easier to deploy, to maintain in the long term, and it's less expensive. So if you have a couple of machines, you can have your own cluster. It's not necessarily on a cloud provider, which is maybe a bit expensive today. But I think moving to the cloud native patterns and principles is what I recommend the most today. And as I said, it comes with a lot of advantages. Easy to think about, to test, to deploy, to maintain in the long term. So yeah, that's what I recommend today. And platforms like Kubernetes, Cloud Foundry are very, very good options. And of course, you can still run your batch jobs on-prem. But yeah, it's a matter of preference after that. Once you have
Oh,
the architecture in place, the deployment target is really an option, and they are all quite similar, I guess.
okay, I understand. Why do you think that some companies, especially banking, are still using and COBOL developers? They didn't. I know that one of my friends speak. Okay, we have COBOL developers. Why you still have the COBOL developers? Because a lot of things, files in banking, still exist in COBOL for a great company, great banking company in France. I didn't understand until now the cost of moving to other solution rather than COBOL. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think from the numbers, I know. Of course, I have been part of many modernization projects, and I can tell you confidently that running batch infrastructure on the mainframe is crazy
Mm,
ton of money, and you can have exactly the same result in the fraction of that with like a private cloud and languages like Java or I don't know, Go or Rust or something like this.
mm,
And I think it's quite difficult for those companies because it's like their core business. It's something that is critical to their business, and it takes a lot of time to make sure that they are moving the workloads from the mainframe to a new architecture to a new platform. So this is the kind of project that you have to make sure so you have like financial consequences on that. So you need to be sure that everything works as before, and that's why these kind of projects are very expensive. But that's an investment. So you invest a lot of money on modernizing your infrastructure, but after that, the return on investment is quite big, and you have like something maintainable on the long run.
okay. Okay, great, great response. We'll move maybe to make some comparison with new technology that you're concurrent, like Kafka. Yeah. And the difference between how things work in Spring Batch and what we call the real-time processing using solution like Kafka. You know that it's very now a lot of company. We need the Kafka developers. Uh, a legend of Kafka and etc. And I don't know, I don't know how they come with this purpose of jobs, but I see a lot of jobs speaking about that. What kind of difference between things that work in Spring Batch and real-time processing like Kafka streams?
Yeah, I think batch processing and stream processing are different things.
Okay.
They basically differ in terms of the nature of data you are processing. So for batch processing, typically you have a finite amount of data to process, while for streaming is like the data is infinite. And so they both come with different patterns and style of data processing. And I know that the line between these two is gray. People don't really make the difference, but those are different things. And Spring Batch is more like on the batch processing side. Kafka is on the streaming side.
Hmm.
And I think the most important decision you make when you have to decide between these tools is really choosing the right tool for the job. So you need to make sure you are using like a batch processing framework or tool when you really have a batch processing use case and vice versa, and not the opposite. And people usually tend to confuse these two things,
Hmm.
and like they use a streaming solution for a batch use case, and obviously in the end you end up with a convoluted solution which is not natural in in the first place. So yeah, I think they both have their places, like batch processing and stream processing. They can be used side by
Hmm.
side, and people tend to say batch processing is dead. We don't need batch processing tools. We can always use streaming solutions, but that's not true. So they both have their valid places in your arsenal, if you can say that. So yeah, it's a matter of choosing the right tool for the job. That's it.
Yes. I don't know, but for me, streams when you need to make what you call pooling, etc., real-time response. and it's consume a lot of resource from the processor, from the frame, etc., mainframe. And when you don't need streams, it's better to use something like Spring Batch that didn't consume the same things, and it's not streams. It depend of situation. Didn't
Exactly.
understand. I didn't
Exactly.
understand why people. Okay, we have streams. We usually use streams. So no need to have batching processing using Spring Batch. Maybe I
Yeah,
don't know. I didn't have any logic explanation about that, but okay. That's what people think. Okay. We speak a little bit about Spring Batch. There is a much more things that related to Spring Batch, but because also we need to discover things related to management project like open source like Spring Batch, which also some customer because of project it's open source project, but also there is customer for VMware company,
commercial.
great company, the big company that use the solution. Um, how you manage the technical, especially the technical roadmap, because it's not easy to have this technical roadmap with the issues with uh, companies, your clients that have some changes, have to fix bugs, etc. You are mostly reactive to the community also that needs to respond proactively to their issues. Can you speak a little bit about your how you organize your roadmap? I know it's not not an easy job. Can you little bit speak about that?
Sure. I think the technical roadmap is mostly based on community feedback and paying customers feedback. So we have like feature requests, bug reports. We sometimes do some surveys and polls and so on. And we take this feedback very seriously in the Spring team. So this is what mostly drives the technical roadmap of every project. But yeah, we try to be as responsive as we can. Of course, we try to plan the roadmap based on so if it's a bug or a feature, of course, we have like an entire roadmap to cross portfolio to follow. And we try to have a balance between bug fixes, feature requests, and so on. So yeah, it's mostly based on the feedback. And sometimes we, the Spring team, try to come with features that we think are beneficial for users. Like for example, in the Spring Batch project, I remember I introduced the observability feature. So basically, this allows you to observe a batch process running. So you can time it, you can like have some metrics about reading, writing, and so on. So this feature was not really asked for by anyone, but
Okay.
I introduced it anyway because I think and I was believing it can be beneficial, and now everyone is using it. So so yeah, sometimes it comes from the project lead or the team, and but most of the time it's based on community feedback. So we listen to users, we try to see the pain points. We try to come with solutions to that, improve things. So yeah, the technical roadmap is really driven by that. So yeah.
Okay, right. Yes, I appreciate also the flexibility. When you come with an idea, there is no problem with that. You discuss, you have a lot of discussion, I think, in the GitHub repository about issues, about new idea, etc. And you really appreciate because the project is not a project used by uh, uh, some people. It's a project with um,
Many users, yeah.
many, yes, yes,
Hmm.
and also it's impact other component of the Spring system, Spring
Boot, for example.
dependencies. Yes,
Mm.
something like that, and it's not an isolated system, Spring Batch. It's a help other system component in the Spring ecosystem, and
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
very important that. every changes in the Spring Batch will be discussed not only by with your team but also with other teams that
Exactly.
may use the solution.
Exactly. So we have like a chain of projects and like Spring Framework, and then we have other projects like Spring Data Integration Batch, and then we have Spring Boot, which consumes all these projects. And after Spring Boot, we have Spring Cloud, which is based on
Mm,
Spring Boot, and so on. So it's like a lot of related projects. And as you said, if we change something in one of these projects, it can impact
yes,
the downstream chain. And yeah, we need to. It's a lot of work across teams to synchronize and plan these releases so that everything works seamlessly together. And yeah, it's a huge effort across teams. Yeah.
yes, and maybe you can speak about your upcoming feature that you will integrate in the Spring Batch. I think that now we didn't have the sixth version of Spring Batch. Until
Not
now
yet.
we have .NET, but in the project you have I think soon the new version, the sixth version, and maybe
Exactly.
you can speak to Swift Academy to people that see us or listen to us some special things that come to the new version of Spring Batch, some feature that you are preparing to the community.
Sure. I think before talking about features, I think the next
Ah,
version 6, is a major version, and I think
mm,
it's once every 3-4 years that we ship major releases. And every time we work on major releases like this, we need to make sure that all major releases of the entire portfolio are aligned. So we need to make sure that the dependencies we have in common, they are aligned. The Java baseline, the minimum Java version is the same, and so on. So for every major release, we need to make sure that this is in place before even starting talking about features. So yeah, this is the main theme for the next major release. We need to make sure that Spring Batch 6 works well with Spring Framework 7, which is the next major version of Spring Framework, which is, and it should also be consumed by Spring Boot 4, which is the next major version of Spring Boot. So yeah, that's a big chunk of work. But in terms of features, I think the most requested one is being able to run steps remotely.
mm,
So today you can have like your batch job running on the same machine. All the steps run on the same machine, and the idea is that one of the steps can be run on a remote machine. So
mm.
this way you can like horizontally scale your job, so you can like have 2 or 3 or more steps running on different machines. So you have like more
Distribute the
power.
system. Yes.
Exactly, and then the job acts like a manager, so it will gather the results and then continue. So this is a very requested feature, and I think I planned it for the next version.
Mm.
I also try to adapt the framework to the current trends. So now we have all the AI hype. So it's not
Ah.
hype anymore. It's something really interesting. So maybe this is a scoop, and I can talk about it. But the idea is to have um, the ability to like orchestrate AI agents in different steps of a batch job. So you can imagine a job with a couple of steps, and every step is like doing something, and it's an AI agent that is performing the step. So you can orchestrate many agents, and you can like have workflows of whatever your business requires. So if we have something that allows you to run a step as an AI agent in Spring Batch, that will be really awesome, I think.
Mm.
So yeah, this can be shipped in V6. I don't know. Of course, it will depend on the community feedback. There is an open issue that everyone can discuss. We gather ideas. As I said, we are open to discussion. Maybe it's a, it's a crazy idea. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe so. Yeah, it's always like that. We try to gather as much feedback as we can before deciding to go or no. Or but yeah. So
I
those
think
are the main features coming in the next version of Spring Batch.
yes. I think that that's you have already discussed it with some developers in the your GitHub. You shared me last time. about this discussion about using AI agent like to make your orchestration in Spring Batch.
Mm-hmm.
We
We'll
discover
see.
that and we'll see. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that very it's I don't know. I think that is a hard things to do, especially for security, for a lot of things that you need to think about when using this kind of agent. Developing your native agents, and it's not also an easy thing. So you need to also to think about that. Okay. Hopefully
Yeah.
that we find that solution in the V6.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yes, we'll see. Let's come to, as I said, about hard things that you faced when you develop in Spring Batch, and especially things that need more attention and hard work. I know that impact the roadmap. And for business, for people in the business, they don't like that their roadmap change it, because if there is a thing that in your work will be late, and that will impact the other component, as you said, Spring Boot, etc., other things that need Spring Batch. How you can, first of all, what are this kind of hard technical things that you face it using when you work with Spring Batch, and how they impact your roadmap? Because I know that it will impact your roadmap and the culture of the company. I know that's a company of technical company, and facing hard things and changing the roadmap. They are more flexible than no technical company, because they understand that things that didn't come usually with the same manner, the same level of something that maybe we estimate a thing that need 2 months, but okay, it need to 4 months, 5 months. Maybe can't we can't realize this. Okay, we are in the beginning we was uh, very optimistic about the result. And can you speak a little bit about that, about how roadmap can be changed in your project related to some hardest features that can, and what is your culture about that? It's very important in the podcast to understand uh, company like VMware, teams like Spring Batch, how they handle, sorry, hard things, because we know that every time, in every version we have this kind of hard thing that is we need to handle. Sorry,
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
speak a lot.
That's a very, very interesting question. So I think, in my experience, it's a bit different in terms of culture, indeed, between this R&D space and the industrial space. We typically start a new major release train, what we call a release train, with a team meeting. So everyone comes with a roadmap, and we try to see if those roadmaps match, or if there is any potential issue, compatibility issue between the projects. So the most typical thing, I believe, in the Spring team that I didn't see in other, and it's maybe different because it's the nature of what we do, is that we don't commit over features until we are sure we can ship them. So the first thing
Okay,
we do is we can ship a major release without features. Major releases are not for features, by the way. Major releases are for removing deprecated APIs, fixing anything that we cannot fix in a minor release. All breaking changes can be introduced in a major release to fix things that cannot be fixed in minor versions. So it's completely okay if we release a major version without any feature. Features are for minor releases, like for example, now we will have 6.0. And after that, in a year, maybe we'll have 6.1. 6.1 can be packed of features. 6.0 can be like just an alignment with the other projects from the portfolio. So we don't have this maybe quite often changes in the roadmap that becomes stressful or becomes like an issue on the release train and so on. So we start with the minimum we need to ship a major release, and then we incrementally add features if we have time, or if it's really the right time to introduce that feature or something like this, if something is strategic. So we don't like prepare an entire backlog for a feature for a major release, and then we commit to that. We start with what we are sure can be what we are sure can be delivered, of course, and what should be done for that major release, and then every time we refine our backlog and we add new features to the milestone, we know that this is can be shipped, so we do it. If something is risky or cannot be or can impact downstream projects, we just hold on that. We can have other team meetings to refine our roadmaps. So yeah, it's a flexible process. It's a very thorough process because, as you said, many people are collaborating together, many projects and so on. But I think this is the difference between research and development and the industrial world, where you have like a roadmap with features and you have a deadline and you need to put everything
You
in that
practice
release
you
and so
practice
on.
safe. You practice safe, and you are committed with things
Exactly,
before.
exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So,
I don't like to
um,
speak about that because I will have problems. Okay.
so sometimes when you see people presenting what's coming next in a spring project, you have like a little note saying this is a goal but not a commitment. So what we are presenting is a goal that we try to achieve, but it's not like a commitment, and it's a bit different. In fact, it's a bit different, but usually the team has like the knowledge, the acquired knowledge and expertise to know what is possible we or not. So we usually have like realistic goals. We know our projects very well, so we can um, almost accurately estimate the work needed for that. But still, we try to have like new features. Of course, it's a balance between if between bug fixes, breaking changes,
Yeah.
features, and so on. And it's something that we really take seriously. We try to respect semantic versioning as much as we can.
Yes.
And yeah, we take our customers very seriously, and the open source world as well.
We speak about this about semantic versioning when now we come to third section about how you maintain your project and especially with the community and what kind of processing you have made, you have established it to handle bugs, issues, and to distinguish a little bit about bugs, issues, new feature, etc. You speak about this now, but when there is issues that come from the community, and I know that also from the your customers, how you handle this, how you distinguish between this kind of issues and the reactivity of fixing that. Uh, it, you should we have a pressure to okay we need to fix that because the client etc okay and I know that you have a lot of process to lot of test and unit testing integration testing etc because you don't need to fix this very quickly and after that you have a great problem production that you didn't estimate that what kind of how you handle this kind of what we call very quickly bug to fix. I don't understand that you have this kind of problems because you have a lot of craftsmanship. You are already prepared to not have this kind of what we call very hot fix bug to that come to production because you have already your what we call continuous integration, etc. When you develop, etc. This kind of problems maybe come in the what we call industrial company without unit testing, integration testing, without this culture of making quality of code. Yes, for me, 80% of the company in the world are the have are additional have this kind of additional problem because they are lack of craftsmanship and something like that. And okay, can you speak a little bit of your
Sure.
how you handle fixes, bugs, etc. Your
Yeah.
maintenance process?
Yeah, sure. We receive like bug reports, feature requests in the open source world on GitHub and also on our private repos for our paying customers. And of course, paying customers, they have like a contract, a support contract, and of course we have some SLAs there. So we need to be reactive and so on. I am personally on the third line of support, if we can say that. So we have dedicated teams to analyze and react to bug reports, especially security related ones. So we aim at being very active when it's a security issue. So we have like patches, hot patches that can be in hours. I remember we fixed like a security issue in 30 minutes or something. We have a very automated release process, so we can deliver patches very quickly. Um, yeah, so the way we triage issues and feature requests is quite manual. There is nothing fancy there. So when I receive a bug report, I quickly take a look. If the person provides an example to reproduce the issue, it's great. So we try to reproduce it and fix it. If not, we ask for that, some feedback, of course. And yeah, the way we triage thing is like based on the roadmap. So if we have a bug fix release coming in shortly, we try to work on it. So by the way, we have like bug fix releases every quarter. We have
Okay,
minor releases every 6 months or a year, depends on the project, and then we have major releases every 3-4 years. So we try to have a balance between bug fixes, features, and so on. So for example, we have every quarter a bug fix release, so we continuously deliver bug fixes all the year. And then if we have, as I said, if we have a critical fix, we need to, it takes the priority. We fix them, we ship them to paying customers. If it's in the open source world, we also fix it and deliver it in Maven Central, in the public repository. Yeah, that's the way we handle issues basically.
okay,
We have also a bot that can close stale issues. So if we ask for feedback from the person who reported the bug, and if there is no like feedback in a month or two,
okay.
we
You close
just
the
close the
issue.
issue. Yeah. So, and if the person provides like the feedback in a timely manner, of course, we try to dig in deeper and try to reproduce and fix and so on. Um, but yeah, it's everything is on GitHub, and the same thing. We also have like a private. Sorry.
No, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
also have a private code and binary repositories for paying customers, but it's the same process. We typically manage in a classic way uh, the issues and feature requests, and it's
And
all driven by the roadmap, of course.
okay. And
Yeah,
I think with the integration of GitHub Actions, the new pipelines on GitHub, this you integrate all this process using GitHub Actions, your CI/CD, it's updated with that. Because before maybe use another other platform to your CI/CD, and now everything it's in the same platform. Your
yeah,
repository, yeah, everything. Can you speak a little bit about what common with the integration of GitHub Actions? Because when you spoke to me about that, and they come with really good things for you. And okay,
sure.
about
Yeah, I
GitHub.
mean, GitHub is an amazing platform. I love
I
GitHub.
hope that they will still
You
have the
agree?
same. Yes, but I don't know because there is a new CTO for that comes. The other,
Yeah, yeah, but
it's fired or I don't know. But I'm a little bit afraid about GitHub. Hopefully that we come to the same culture. Okay, it's some parentheses and we close it.
I know, no problem. I think apart from that, the platform is itself is amazing. I think we have everything you need. We have everything we need to operate an open source project. So the Spring team used to use other tools like Concourse for CI/CD,
Ah,
Jenkins, and so on.
okay.
In recently, we decided to move to GitHub actions and discussions and so on. So everything is there, from issue tracking to discussions, as I said, for support requests, to release management and so on, project management. Everything is on GitHub, and it's a centralized place. We have like our private runners for actions. So we don't use the ones from GitHub, but we have private ones. And yeah, everything is in GitHub, so everything is public. You can see our CI/CD pipelines, how we build project, test them, release them, and so on. And yeah, it's a very thorough process, I think, because it involves many projects, and yeah, we have to be rigorous on how to deliver these series of projects in a timely manner. And of course, we have fallback processes and so on. Yeah, but again, GitHub is amazing.
Yes.
It works very well for us, and we don't think we will change anytime soon.
Sorry, I have a stupid question. You are
There are
not
no
afraid.
stupid questions.
You are
They are
not
all
afraid
good.
because you share everything in GitHub, etc. I know that it's the culture of open source software is like, but you are not afraid about sharing all this, and another company and other people come to, okay, we'll do like them and better. There is no
Yes,
problem.
please,
There
please go. If yeah,
is.
please go and do better. And if you do better, grats. So we are confident. I think it's not a problem to share. It's the culture. It's the open source culture we have. It's fine. That's how we multiply the knowledge. So in a closed source world, the knowledge is contained. This is a completely different story. So it's okay. Please go fork these things. Do better if you can. This is for for the good of the community and for all the developers around the world. So we have no problem of sharing these. Of course, we have private, as I said, private source repository and binary repository. But this is for paying customers because we can have a patch specific to a customer and so on. But
Okay.
this is confidential. But 80% of what we do is in public, and we are happy to move the community forward with our best practices. And the release process of the Spring portfolio is amazing. If you see, it's thousands and thousands of tests and integration tests and end-to-end tests, and yeah, it's really amazing. And I think it took like years of work. And if the community can benefit from that, we will be happy to see
Hmm.
it used elsewhere. No problem.
Yes. Yes. You just respond to my next question about how you can participate in Spring Batch. It's open source. You can come and fork the project
Sure.
and to
Sure, yeah.
discuss with Mahmoud and other people in the team.
Yeah,
Right.
it's we are open to contributions. I'm really happy when I see people interested in the project. They fork it, they take time to report an issue or implement a feature. I'm very happy when I see this. We are open. We try to help also. So sometimes I see that the person is having difficulties with rebasing, like Git commits or something like that. So we try to help them. So we try to make contributions as easy as possible. We help people, as I said. We guide them if they ask how to do things. We try to tag our backlog with like we have a tag called I think ideal for contribution. So every now and then I go throughout the entire backlog and try to tag the easy issues with this ideal for contribution, so people can like go and see what are the issues that are easy to implement. So they start with. So yeah, we try to be open, responsive for people. We are happy to see contributions, and this is what makes the project alive. And yeah, so that's the nature of open source development, and it's very easy today to contribute. You just fork the project, make a change, open a pull request on GitHub. GitHub made this very easy, and yeah, that's how it works. So sometimes you open an issue, and 1 hour later, I have 2 or 3 PRs for that issue. It's really amazing. One of the best things an open source project can have is a large user base.
Yes.
And as I said, if your product is used by millions, you can be sure to have the right feedback, and it's great to see people interested and
And
trying
they
your
come to
stuff. So, for example, I don't fear breaking things. I try to, if something needs to be fixed in a proper way, in a clean way, I just do it, and I'm sure that many people will test that, and I will have feedback, and we can improve things. And so this gives me confidence that okay, people are using the thing, are testing it. So even if it's broken, I will be notified 1 hour later, maybe, or tomorrow at least.
yes.
So it's a good thing, yeah. But it's very easy to answer your question. Contributions are very easy, as I said, and I welcome everyone to try and see if they can
Yes.
give back to the project they are using.
Great. I think that so you respond to a question about your integration test and the new. We come to this section where speak about testing and your process of testing. You still speak about unit testing, integration testing that already I think integrate in your project. But there is maybe a kind of I don't know. There is any benchmarks that or test suite that you are proud of it. I know that you spoke to me about that. You have something very, very special for testing that come to that help you to be more comfortable about your code, and also for people that come to contribute. As you said, there is a lot of people that come to contribute, and you are safe with their contribution. And really, it's amazing to have this attitude and to be comfortable with people that are not in the project, are not in the team of the Spring Batch from VMware, and you have this ability to accept pull requests that come for these people, and the
Mhm.
project will continue safely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's thanks to this like CI/CD pipeline, we have thousands of tests that cover most of the code paths in the projects. So obviously we cannot be 100%, but I think we cover most of the use cases. We have a lot of tests of the main features. We have samples, like end user samples, complete applications that we also test as part of the CI/CD pipeline. So yeah, we try to be yeah, I mean, this is like a good thing to have, because when you refactor things or introduce new features, you can be pretty sure that something is not working anymore thanks to these test suites. I think not really proud of, to answer your question, but we try to apply the testing best practices. And I think one point that I can mention is that recently we like for example, in Spring Batch, we interact with a lot of databases to read and write data in different databases like MySQL, Postgres, and so on. And I remember a couple of years ago when we have like a bug specific to a given database, we have to like when I say we, the project maintainers, we have to install that specific database software on the developer machine and then run the test against that local instance. And reproduce the bug. And recently we changed that to be based on Docker containers. So today we have like a test suite for every database we support based on Docker. So we containerize the database inside the container and we run the tests against that container. So basically you don't have to install anything on your machine when you join the project. And this is something very interesting because now we can test this against all the databases and message brokers we support. And of course, this is something very interesting, so it makes our life easier. And it's also best practice because the testing environment is quite similar to the production environment. So we almost have the same database instance running in production or in the Docker container. So the same version, the same database. It's not an embedded database in the JVM or something like that. Yeah, and also for contributions, so all PRs are subject to the same CI/CD pipeline. We run all the test suites against all the pull requests. So if something breaks, the contributor will be notified, and we fix that before merging it. So we try to make sure to not merge breaking things. Yeah, so it's a safety net before breaking things. I mean, before introducing any change, we do that regularly.
Yes, great. Let's come maybe to speak for another section with your collaboration with other Spring teams like Spring Boot, etc., Spring Security, and how you handle things. I know that you have a lot of meetings to prepare things, to synchronize, etc. And I
Yeah, okay, let me try that. So I will share
okay,
the screen. And, so it's calendar.spring. So I will try to share my screen. Okay, share screen.
yes, I think that's the good screen.
That's the right one.
Yes, the right one. Release calendar, August 2025.
Exactly. Oh yeah, so we have this calendar in which we have all the planned release. So when it's in green like this, it means that this version has been released. So we see that in August, for example, we released all these projects already. And yeah, so for example, we have like a very precise release train. So every day we have some projects that can be released based on the previous day. So this is like uh, corresponding to the order of projects. So for example, we have the entire release trains. The release train is on takes 2 weeks. So the
Okay,
first week is the basic projects like Micrometer, Reactor, and so on. And then we release Spring Framework. And after Framework, we release Spring Data. The week after, we release AMQP integration, Kafka. After that, we have GraphQL integration. I said, yeah. And then we have Batch that requires all others. And then we have Spring Boot, like here. And then other projects. So you see, it's like an entire
every day,
release.
every day there is something that is delivered, and
Exactly.
how you organize that? You have this come from other people that prepare that, or only the lead in the Spring teams that they have meeting to prepare this release, and they know on which date we need to have Micrometer, we need to have what Spring Framework, etc. You make a
Yeah,
lot
this
of
is.
meetings.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, you can continue.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a good question. This is like the task of project leads. We meet to make sure that these releases are in the required order. So we typically have a fixed release planning. So, for example, we know that every time we have a release train, Micrometer is on Monday, Reactor is on Tuesday, and so on. So, for example, Batch is always on a Wednesday because integration
Mm,
is always on a Tuesday. So we
okay,
make sure that this is like predictable and we can like we can have fixed dates. So if for example I am in PTO this Wednesday, we know that that Wednesday my backup should be there and so on. So this makes our lives easier in terms of planning. But yeah, it's typically the project leads that synchronize this releases uh, in a like this in a monthly cadence. Here, for example, the release train for September, which is coming. So in blue, meaning it's not released yet. In green, it's already released. So yeah, it's a
Yes,
quite convoluted process. It requires a lot of rigor and
yes,
to
yes,
to make these things work together seamlessly and without any issue. We have to be. There is a lot of craftsmanship going on. So yeah, it's not an easy task and it's a lot of effort. Yeah.
yes. And I think that people or developers that come to work with you now, they need to have a kind of onboarding about all this stuff, or and how they can contribute to the project. Okay, we know that it's open source project, and it's only the role of the team leader to organize this with the other teams, and for developers only to fix bug or to work on the new feature, major feature. How kind of um, if I am worried, I'm come to work with you. Okay, didn't have any knowledge about that, but yeah.
It will be a pleasure to
Oh,
have you on board.
okay. What kind of onboarding you prepare to them, to people that come?
Yeah,
And before that, what kind of tests? Because coming working with you, we need to make what we call interview. What kind of interview? People that come to work. Uh, okay, I know that you make the interviews, but what kind of interview we need? Or if this man have contribution before to some open sourcing, maybe some people that contribute to the project are now with you, or
Yeah,
maybe they're coming and leave. I don't know, but in your process of onboarding and also before that interview, what kind of special things that you make to
yeah,
accept people with you?
yeah. It's a good question. I think what we look for in when hiring people
Mm,
is the ability to work with open source. I know it's different. So many
yes.
people coming from the industry, like I did before. I mean, it's a different mindset, as I said. It's a different way of working. So we have to know how to deal with open source communities, how to gather feedback, how to talk to people, how to present things, what's confidential, what's not. So the profiles we are looking for are, of course, people should be familiar with the project they are going to be part of, but also this open source skill, if I can say like that. I mean, it's different in nature than developing closed source projects for a
Mm,
given customer. Um, but there is nothing special. Apart from that, there is nothing special. The hiring process, as I said, is based on that. But the onboarding one is quite classic. So people come, we explain the project, we explain the release process, as I mentioned now. We try to adapt them to the open source world, as I said,
mm.
what's confidential, what's not, how to deal with the community, how to communicate, and so on. And yeah, it's it's still
That
like software engineering, but with more rigor, maybe, and more craftsmanship, if I can say
yes.
that. Hmm.
Especially how to speak with the community, because
Exactly.
you have something a template, because we know that some developer come with saying something is not good, etc. How you interact with people, etc. You have a kind um, of template of reaction. It should not be because we have also the what we call we try to keep a good picture of the project, etc. And we
Yeah,
know
there
that
is
that yes.
There is a code of conduct, I think. Yeah,
Yes, code of
that's
conduct.
yeah. We have that. Of course, we need to be inclusive. We try to
Mm,
avoid everything that can harm the project. There are some guidelines for sure, but it's nothing is specific. We you can read them. Everyone can read about them in the project. So there is like a code of conduct file that you can read and know what we need to do and what should be avoided.
yes.
So yeah, for new hires, I think when I joined, I was already working in the open source world, and I think it was quite easy for me to adapt. But yeah, this is the most important part. The technical part of taking the project, working on issues and releasing and so on is the easiest one. The hardest one is how to talk to the open source community as well as the paying customers and how to manage the SLAs we have. Yeah, that's maybe the most important part of the hiring and onboarding process.
Okay, great. We have uh, about a lot of things. Spring project, your mindset, how you handle testing, maintenance, etc. And people that listen or watch us now think, okay, but what keep Mahmoud motivated to this
Mhm.
project after this number of years? Because I know that after 3 years, okay, but why you don't change the company? Okay, this is for industry. I think that for industry company, maybe you need to do that, especially for people that work for freelancing, etc. Know the mentality of people and of developers because they try to uh, they have it's not the same mentality. It's problem I think of mindset, etc. And my question: how you keep you still keep motivated with this planning, with this road map? It's, everything's technical. A lot of dependency with other component of the Spring systems. It's not easy to keep
Yeah,
motivated.
yeah, you are right. I think, yeah, the turnover is different. I think it's high in the industrial field, but it's low in the R&D typically. I think the the fact that your code is being used by millions, and I'm sure because I know the Spring projects are being downloaded millions of times every month. So the fact that, I mean, the recognition is what keeps me motivated. So
Mm,
if people are using your code, you know that this company or that company is really using something
mm.
you have contributed. It's rewarding, and this recognition is the motivator basically. So this is what keeps me hooked in the open source space. Yeah,
And also the environment, because you are with smart people, smart people,
definitely,
and also it's important also,
definitely.
very
Yeah, yeah,
important when you are smart people with smart management people that the culture of the company is also very important.
exactly. So
Culture there.
it was very difficult for me to find the a company that has the same culture I had about open source. It's a privilege. I'm very honored and humbled to be part of this team. I learn a lot. Those are very smart people, as you say, very humble people, and it's really a privilege to be part of
Yes,
this kind.
yes.
So yeah,
And you're still coding, I think. I know that you're still coding, and in the project you make a lot of pull request reviews.
yeah.
And when you make a pull request review for this kind of projects, you are not make coding styling reviews, but you are in the how things work, etc. And until now, I think still now you work on you have hands on coding.
Yeah, yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, it's still hands-on position, but mostly reviewing contributions, as you said. I think I happen to work on big chunks of code when we have to restructure things or introduce a big feature or something.
Mm.
But most of the time, I review contributions. I try to plan them for according to the release plan, and so on. But the coding part is really a small-ish part of my job. I mean, as a project lead, I mean,
I now,
other roles are
yes.
different. I have a lot of things to do apart from coding. So I have to do like pre-sales presentations to potential customers. I have to support existing customers. I mean, paying customers. I also have to do presentations in conferences to promote Spring and my projects. We have to do the release planning. We have to perform the releases. We have to manage the community. So yeah, it's a lot of things. I mean, a project lead in Spring is a multi-skill position.
Lot of
Yeah,
soft
and
skills.
the
Soft
coding part
skills.
is
Yes.
sorry.
Soft skills, skills, and very,
Exactly.
very
So
important.
it's a lot of soft skills, technical skills, and yeah,
Yes.
it's really people think that we are only working on GitHub all day long, but that's not true. It's
Mm.
really this public facing part is really like I don't know 30% maybe. We do a lot of stuff in the
Behind the
background,
scene.
behind the
Behind the
scene,
scene.
in the background.
Yes.
Uh, I wish I can like write a blog post one day about how busy a project
I,
lead in the
I
Spring
encourage you
team.
yes, I encourage to speak about that because it's very important that people understand that. No, okay, for my point of view, the code is very important. In your case, it's very, very important. But also, if you don't make this kind of meeting with customers, you play a great role to respond to their question because they need technical response, and
Exactly.
also
Yeah.
to try to have this kind of academic response because it's not easy to have this kind of to simplify things that are very complicated in code
Mm,
maybe, and you try
yeah.
to simplify and to explain to the customers, your paid customers, um, the issue, how you can resolve. Maybe you can to think about your roadmap to speak. Okay, we will fix that in 3 weeks maybe, and you try to keep your this time this
Time
date
frame. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yes, the time frame. Okay, it's great. Great work. And that comes for my last question. If you are not uh, uh, lead developer or principal engineering in VMware, what kind of technology that attractive trends that you keep your eyes on now? I know that you will speak about the iOS, but
you
I'm
know,
not
you
okay.
know how much I love Apple and iOS, and so yeah, I will speak about that later. But I think there is one thing I really keep an eye on is the AI space. Obviously, I think
Mm,
I guess everyone, like everyone else, the AI hype is not hype anymore. I think
mhm,
it has been exploding and I mean progressing at a rapid pace. So it's very interesting. It's really a revolution. I see it in the coding, in the software engineering space.
mm,
It's really amazing working with these tools. So I really try to keep an eye on this, be up to date, and also we have like a project in the Spring portfolio called Spring AI,
mm,
which makes us we need to follow the trends to be able to maintain this project. So basically, it's a project that allows you to interact with different AI providers in a consistent way. So we have some abstractions to interact with these providers. So if you switch, you can switch from providers without changing your code. Basically, and the idea is awesome. And to maintain this kind of projects, you have to be up to date in the AI space. And this is something amazing, and I'm trying to follow the trends there. And of course, it's iOS development. It's not because the podcast is about iOS, but I really, uh, I always have been like an Apple customer, and I want to learn how to develop mobile applications with the iOS platform. So this is something I'm keen to learn to to know
Okay,
how it works, and you will be my best teacher, I guess.
I'm
So yeah,
so,
I
thank you.
think the Apple ecosystem is very well established. The Swift programming language platforms there, the Xcode IDE, and so on. So yeah, all of this is something I wanna try.
But be sure that what you did, it's much, much, much more complicated than the iOS development.
I
It's
don't know. I need to try both.
from my
Okay,
little
I trust
experience,
you.
I can confirm that you did it's very, very high level, high level. Maybe okay, maybe people that work with the open source Swift code, okay, it's great. Working with Swift open source language, it's okay. We need people that are very high level, but you are in the same level. I confirm that it's
Yeah, I hope so.
because
Yeah, I
okay,
have a lot to learn, and I stay humble, and I try to like
I know,
to learn,
I
and
know,
yeah.
I know.
So
Thank you, Mahmoud. It's a great pleasure to have you in this podcast, this special episode of the Swift Academy. Maybe you have I let you say something in the
yes.
yes in the end.
Thank you, Walid. It's really a pleasure to be on your show, to share all these insights in the from the internals of the Spring team at VMware. So I hope people will enjoy this episode. It was fun, and we had a lot of great questions and discussions.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you for having me, and hopefully we do it again in the future.
Yes, thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
Mahmoud. Bye.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.